having little innocent beings who only thing they know about themselves is what we present about ourselves. I don't know if that makes any sense to any of you guys. If you are a Jew and you know that you must be a doctor, a lawyer, or something like that, that matters. Your goal is higher. What you want to be in life is exalted. But if you think about what happens with us as black men, our goal in life is where? What do we have to look up to? Who do we have to look up to? Was our fathers impressive? Was our grandfathers impressive? It doesn't even matter what you say sometimes to your children. It's what you do. It's what you have. It's the presence you command. It's the maturity of how you deal with each other and deal with other people. And that's the biggest thing we need in the black community. Where does that start? To me, it's with fathers. If your man is confident, your man is proud. When your man is proud, he loves what he has. He protects what he has when he has these situations. And that's when you, as a woman, as a man, as a family, as a community, that's when we'll be better. When we actually care about each other. It starts with the fathers. It starts with the relationship and the children. Children. Children.
When you sleep out of place, I swear I sky.
Children.
When you're falling place, like a wheel, whirling round and round, rolling down. When you're falling, spinning on the ground, like a wheel, whirling round and round, rolling in the air, spinning and I'm falling like a wheel. I'm falling, in the air, spinning and I'm falling like a Mac, bringing the track, banging the 8-track, the dramatics and battle Cat and Snoop like that. Woo-hoo! Yes, sir. Hey, to do a caviar. Hell yeah, you are. Yeah, you are. Say it, cause you don't deny it. Player, they can't, you can't deny it. Hey, this Snoop Dogg is that shit. Gangster, bitch. Oh, so if y'all ain't heard that Snoop Dogg paid the cost to be the boss, that ballin' song is that deal. Dipping out of place, slapping from so, what'd he say? Tumbling through the beat, that is, they keep me dizzy, yeah. Ink and bread. There we go. All right, look, let's get ready to do this, man. I really have been on the fence about doing this show, but then I just said, fuck it. Let's do it. Let's do it. And here we are. So I hope that y'all ain't got shit else to do but to be here with me. Cause that's what we about to do. We about to get it in. Let me get ready to do my thing. What matter of fact, cause all this shit is Trump fault anyway, so it would only be fitting to make sure I got my MAGA hat on. Cause yeah, there we go. Let me see and make sure I'm looking good. I'm good looking. I'm good looking. I don't want to have my shit cocked. I ain't GD. None of that no more. That's my old life. I'm new life now. So here we go. Let me go ahead and turn this Snoop off. Get your ball on. Man, that Snoop Dogg, I tell you. What's up, everybody? It's your boy, Brian Redman. And once again, it's on. Are you ready? Let's get ready to break down. Man, it's about to go down on tonight. So, we got some shit to discuss. But first and foremost, let me go ahead and shout out CJ Gunn being first over in the UGOA chat. Salute to you. And also, I think my man Skoha was over here on the relationship rehab side of the game. Salute to you, sir. Thank you. Everybody, make sure y'all click that like button. If you have not subscribed to the United Guns of America channel, make sure you do so. I will be putting that link in the description box, in just not even in the description box. I'm gonna put it in the damn chat in just a second here so that you can see it and then you can subscribe too. Because everybody needs to be a part of it. So why can't you just be a part of it? All right, there we go. And where is, oh, nope, that ain't it. It's here, ain't it? Yeah. And it's under, is it under my publishing shit? I don't know. I think so. Yup. There we go. Yeah. 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 All right. And where is my, yep. Nope, that ain't it either. Well, I'll be damned. Let's just do channels. There we go. There go T. There go T right there. That's where he is. I got T. Select. And then we're gonna copy. And then we paste it on up in there. And then that way y'all can send the thing through to subscribe to the thing when you get your ass up off the thing. There we go. All right. I'm really being, there we go. Cool. Now I can actually copy it. So, but everybody else, there we go. See, that's what I'm talking about. Y'all already ahead of the game. I see ya. Thank you, princess. That's what's up. What up, Brielle, Bruce? Let me see who else up in here. We might as well take a pause for the calls. Give some shout outs. I got CJ. Hey, who's this? GY Sergeant, U.S. Marine retired. What's up? Salute to you, sir, and thank you for your service. That's what's happening. My man old man Grey Wolf. That's what's up, my brother. Let me pause for my brother from another mother. My main man, DJ Just J-O-K. Hey man, I appreciate you. Need more like you, brother. And nothing but love for you. Let's see who else I got. My man Bruce Taylor, Linda Soto. I got Natalie V. I got my let's see, my boy Skohar. I got Triz 313, and I got Brielle, and last but definitely not least, my ace boom coon, my ride or die, my side chick, my main chick, my forever girl, my lovely wife. Hey baby, what's happening? Daddy wanted to make sure he shouted you out the right way. Yes. But let me stop fooling around. All right, so here we go. Let's go ahead and let's do this damn thing and let's get off into this, because what I saw and what I've been seeing, it has really bothered me. I have a problem with just the way that things have unfolded. Now, I'm going to go ahead and say what needs to be said, and I hope that people aren't offended. And if you are, so be it. I apologize, but hey, sometimes you just have to say shit to get shit accomplished and to get shit done the right way and to get somewhere and have a conversation. I'm really mainly doing this because I'm literally just sick and tired of the narrative that's been time and time again repeated about this whole thing with any active shooter, with any type of issue that's going on that's bad in the world. It's always has been, always will be uh the conservative Trump lovers. Everything is Trump fault. Nigga get cancer, Trump fault. You go to the store and you go to the gas station, gas is up 30 cents, Trump fault. You go buy a bag of chips and they added 3 cents on to the tax, it's Trump fault. You go and buy a loaf of bread that was $2.50 last week, but now it's $2.69 this week, that's Trump fault. You go to buy a brand new car and the brand new car get a luxury tax on it, Trump fault. Anything that you don't like in the world is Trump fault. Do you think it was staged? No, I don't think it was staged. What we have to first and foremost realize is that we have a problem with people in America. We have crazy motherfuckers. We have sick motherfuckers. We have people that literally just want to make a mark on the world. And in today's world, with social media, with just being able to get on the intranet and just do whatever you want to do. You can connect with people, you can connect with groups. It's just anything that you want to be able to put out there in the world, you can put stuff out, and you can also have access to things. I don't think it's all planned and it's a conspiracy in this stage. I just think we have people that are literally crying out for attention. They are trying to make a point. They're trying to make a statement. And unfortunately, they're doing it in the worst way possible, which is causing harm to other people. That's what I think. So can somebody dig deep and try to find some type of conspiracy? Well, he used to be this and he was this over here, whatever. To do what you did, what these two dudes have done out in the world, it takes a certain just total disregard for life. And that ain't got nothing to do with if you a Nazi. That ain't got nothing to do with if you a KKK, if you're a Black Panther, if you're gay, if you're LGBT, if you it don't matter. It don't matter. And I'm gonna prove it. We have a problem with people just having a total disregard for life. Right. You cut your finger at work today, Trump fault. Got a Trump cut. That's what happens. But we have a problem with people, man. And until we address this people problem, we will, and hear me, we will continue to have these issues. And the thing that I dislike about this the most is that you have these people who have these agendas to where they want to use gun control, taking guns out of the law-abiding citizens' hands. They want to take these guns out of their hands because that's the reason why this keeps happening. Somebody please make any part of that make sense to me, and I will listen and say you're on to something. If you can prove to me how making it difficult for the law-abiding citizens, the law-abiding tax-paying citizens, to make it difficult for them to be able to get their hands on firearms. If you can show me how that will decrease gun violence, mass shooters, active shooters in America, I will hear you 1,000%, and I will change my position. But it ain't been done. It can't be done because that's not the problem. We have this thing, and this is one of the things that I don't like about the Democratic Party. And this is why I tell people sometimes you have to just think outside of the box and do something different in order to get a different result. Why would you want to tax and make it harder for law-abiding citizens to get access to firearms when they're not the ones that's committing these crimes? Your law-abiding, tax-paying citizens are not the people that are committing these crimes. So why would you want to make it more difficult for them? Because essentially where the problem lies, there is no way for you to make a law to stop them from doing what they're doing. There isn't. This is a people problem thing. This is a thing to where we have people who are suffering. We have people who do not have resources, which is causing them to be in the situation that they're in, which puts them in a situation to where they will commit violence on another group of people. That's all I'm saying. Because if you put all these laws on guns, you put all this gun control, you can't have this gun is outlawed, that gun is out, like they did. Let's not forget, they did that back in the 90s. They banned AR-15s. They banned any type of semi-automatic rifle was banned. Still no change. Niggas were still dying. Why? Because people use weapons to kill people. It's not a particular type of gun. It's guns, knives, sticks, rocks, bats, whatever. Cars, it's whatever. So my thing is this. If we have a problem with automobile accidents, automobile deaths, do we charge people more? Or do we tax people or make laws against people who want to buy fast cars? No. Do we have a speeding, do we have a high performance vehicle tax? No. Do we have a law that says you can't buy a car that goes over 140 miles an hour? Do we have a law that says you can't buy a car that goes over 80 miles an hour? I believe the highest speed limit across the land, I want to say, ain't nothing higher than 80 miles an hour. Would I be correct in saying that? If I'm not, somebody please correct me. But in the United States of America, the highest you will ever see a speed limit sign will be 80 miles an hour. Nevertheless, we have vehicles that are well capable of going far beyond that, and in most cases, double that speed. Now, some cars have governors on them. Some cars have it to where it'll say 150 on the dash, but you can only do 120. Some cars will have on there where you can do 200, but you can only do 160. Point is, you can still go over the speed limit. Why would you make a car that is faster than what the speed limit allows? And we're talking about driving. We're talking about a privilege, which is driving, versus a right, which is your Second Amendment. So we have more people trying to come up with more laws to govern what, when, and how we carry or bear firearms than we do people who actually drive vehicles. I can go buy a Hellcat and go kill 20 people driving into a crowd. Won't be no talk about car control. Won't be any talk about speed control. We've had on 2 occasions where people, at least that I can remember, the dude that had the Challenger, and the guy who had the truck, the van, where they literally drove through crowds killing people. There was no talk of car ban. There was no talk of vehicles being banned or vehicle control laws being put into place, where if there's an event going on with a crowd of people, you got to have a 30-mile radius of a no-car zone. Have we seen this yet? Have we seen a no-car zone in any major city? No, we have not. Why? Because it ain't cars that's killing people. It's the irresponsible people behind the wheel of those vehicles that are killing people. That's all I'm saying. So that's my opening argument is just that. Why are we allowing our government officials to even waste time trying to hack away, chip at, pinch off? Yes, I said pinch off, trying to go back and reword, ratify, change, give different meaning to, reassess a Second Amendment right that has been in place since 1761 or 91. There we go. Why are we even entertaining that? It's a right. It is not a privilege. We got people that are doing things and that are using things that harm other people each and every day. Just like this, you have drugs. Drugs are illegal, right? Cocaine is not a legal drug, is it? No. However, there are millions of people that are using cocaine, whether they're cooking it and selling it, whether they're smoking it or snorting it. There are still people that are using cocaine. We still have a major addiction problem. We do. We have a drug problem in this country, even though there are laws that literally have it banned. It is not to be bought, sold, or possessed in this country. You can't get a prescription for a dime bag of cocaine. You can't have no Peruvian white. You can't have no Bolivian coke. You can't have nothing that is cocaine related. Yet and still, it's here. Yet and still, it's bought and sold. And yet and still, it's abused. And we have laws that have it banned. My point is this: a gun ban, a semi-automatic rifle ban, a magazine ban, any type of ban that you have on firearms is not going to work. It's not. So there's no point in talking about that. there's no point in going out and saying, if we change this law, this would stop. And the fact that people are believing that, the fact that you have every single last one of these Democratic politicians talking this shit to y'all and y'all are buying it, to all my Democrat lovers out there, the fact that y'all are even listening to this and believing that this is what will fix this, you're idiots. You are not idiots, you're ignorant. You really, truly have no idea or any type of concept of what it will take to curb this. Will it ever stop? No, it's been around since the 1920s. Plain and simple. One of the biggest contributing factors to the active shooter and the reason why we're having these mass shootings is because of the attention it gets. That was one of the, and that to me is one of the biggest things that I agree with law enforcement when they talk about this. They like the fact that we keep giving this stuff attention. The fact we want to know who the man was. We want to catch the manifesto. We want to put out what they sites they was on. We want to put out all of their personal information, where they grew up, where they went to school, who their neighbors was, what they ate for breakfast that day, what songs are in their playlists on iTunes, what kind of cologne did they wear, what were their favorite restaurants, what church did they attend. We want to find out all this information, and all it does is it gives fame and notoriety to these people, which is more enticing and intriguing for those who are even thinking about the possibility of doing it. There's an innate drive in all of us to be remembered and to make a mark on this world. Some people, because of their mental issues, they think about doing that the wrong way. And a lot of people lose their lives over it. That's why you have these people doing these shootings where? In gun-free zones. That's why I go to a Walmart. That's why I go to a mall. That's why I go to a club. That's why these are gun-free zones. You ain't supposed to have your gun in a shopping mall. We are no gun shopping mall. Can't bring your gun into the club. Can't have your gun at the party. Where you think they're going? When was the last time you had an active shooter go to a gun show? When was the last time you had an active shooter at a NRA convention? When was the last time you had an active shooter at a gun range? There's people there. You don't. You don't hear about it. You don't hear about it. So, what up, Easy? What's good with it, brother? Let's go ahead and let's get this fair use thing out the way. While I sip on my
Federal law allows citizens to reproduce, distribute, or exhibit portions of copyrighted motion pictures, videotapes, or video discs under certain circumstances without authorization of the copyright holder. This is called fair use and is allowed for purposes of criticism, news reporting, teaching, and parody, which doesn't infringe of copyright under 17 U.S.C. 107.
Tell me about it, baby. Thank you, wife. I appreciate you. So, yes. So and I'm gonna address that right quick, old man. So in Massachusetts and in California, they have a 10-round limit for magazines, but no limit on how many magazines you can carry. Okay. Here's my thing. When you have a 10-round magazine, I get it. You don't want them to have more rounds than the police do. You don't want them to be able to carry a lot high capacity rounds, because the more capacity of bullets you have, the more people you can shoot. Okay. So you have that as a rule, as a law. What happens if I go and I buy an illegal magazine? I've decided I'm going to kill 55 people on tomorrow, and I got this 55 round drum. It's illegal, but I have it. What happens to those people? Has anything changed as far as what I'm going to do? What if I get a fucking 3D printer and I make my own high capacity round magazine? What is the difference in that? And that's my point with how these laws are so idiotic. They literally are just, they make no sense whatsoever. because it's not a law that keeps people from having things. It's not. It's just the fact of having it legally or illegally. That's all it is. It makes no sense to say, oh, well, this person wasn't supposed to have that now. We trying to find out where they got it from. Meanwhile, 85 people done got shot. So is it about having the magazine, or is it about not having the goddamn shooter? Because like he said, if I take 10 of those 10-round magazines, who the fuck is going to stop me from a reload? Where show me the footage of saying, well, because he only had 10 rounds, I was able to count. Then I rushed him because he wasn't able to drop that mag and pop in another one. Do you know how quick it is to drop a mag in a AR-15, a 9mm handgun? It is too easy. Too easy, drill sergeant. Too easy. You can drop a mag in seconds. So it's the thing of just saying, hey, when you think about it like this. You have a community and you have people breaking into houses. What do you do in those communities? Do you come up with more laws about walking the streets? No. Do you come up with more laws about breaking into houses? Do you have everybody got to have a doorbell rule on the sidewalk? Do you have you cannot approach a person's house without their written consent law? Nope. What do? You hire more police officers. You get more good guys to combat bad guys. You don't take anything away from your law-abiding citizens to try to stop a particular type of crime. Tell me if I'm wrong. When you have a rise or an uptick in certain type of crimes, let's say you have a community where people are breaking into cars, breaking out the window, rummaging through the cars, stealing whatever's on the seat, glove boxes are being ripped open, and that's what they're doing. What do? Do you come up with a 20-year breaking in the car law? No. You increase patrols, you increase foot traffic, you engage the neighborhood watch. That's what you do. Because there is literally no way to stop that. It's a people problem. It is not if they didn't have these hammers to break the windows, or if they didn't have bricks to bust out the windows, we wouldn't have these automobile break-ins. I can do this all night. Do you understand what I'm saying? People have to look at the person that's committing the crime and see what that's about. And sometimes you can't fix the person. Sometimes you got 15 million people with mental illness issues. There's no magical pill you can pass out and it's done and it's cured. Sometimes you have to say, well, shit, we're going to have to just get more good guys than bad guys. That's what we're going to have to do. Guns can be carried everywhere. You see something, shoot something. How about that? I like that shit. You see something, shoot something. See some bullshit, shoot it. Shoot it. Shoot the J. That's the thing that we're looking at. If you don't, there are certain things that you just cannot create laws to fix. You take away guns, now you have more knifings. Is that a word? Knifings. Is that actually a knifings? You have more stabbings, right? But that's my point. It's like you can't just say, oh, a law will change this. If I'm elected president, I will execute an executive order that will ban all semi-automatic rifles. Well, how about this? Semi-automatic rifles are not the number one killers in gun violence. It's handguns. It's these motherfuckers right here. It's more people dying from these than it is people that's dying. Oh, shit, matter of fact, y'all in for a treat tonight. It's more motherfuckers dying from that. It's more people dying from these than it is people that's dying from these. Yeah, I got some real serious, legit fucking hardware. Indeed, I do. Yep, thank you very much. I appreciate it. That's my point. So when you're talking about what you're trying to combat, you're not trying to combat a weapon. You're not trying to stop the use of a weapon. You're trying to stop a person committing a particular type of crime. That's all I'm saying. Oh yeah, she's sexy. I got a review of on my gun channel. She's sexy on that thing. Believe that. Best believe that. Yeah, buddy. So I want to show this video real quick, and this is actually the video of the shooting in Dayton, Ohio. And what I want to show you is that it's a matter of seconds. It's a matter of time before good guys stop a bad guy. This, in my opinion, was excellent. And I mean excellent police work. They came and they went to work. This is how you stop an active shooter. Because what you're seeing here, havoc. Now, all these people that you see, and let me point this out. Let's look at that again. You know what the problem is with all these people that's running? Ain't none of them got guns. That's the problem with these people. Not one of these people got guns. So what are they doing? They're all running like sheep. And you got a fucking wolf loose on the streets. They like chickens in a fucking hen house. And the wolf then got in. This is exactly what happens. You have a bunch of fucking sheep sipping on Hennessy, drinking and smoking, partying, having a good time, living their best life. They're living their best life. They ain't going back and forth with you niggas, living my best life. Pow, pow, pow. Oh, shit. I ain't got nothing. I ain't got nan gun. Somebody help me. Please help me. Help me, please. Help me. Help me, please. Please help me. Somebody, please. Where you at? Help me. Help me, please. Please. Please help me. Help me. Please. Help me. Help me, please. Please help me. One of these stupid motherfuckers, he walking. He ain't even had a sense to fucking run and get low. Look at his dumb ass. Look at this nigga with the cup right there in the middle. He walking like, is they really doing this? No, it's just 45 people running past your ass for nothing. You see that shit? You see that shit? Nothing but fucking sheep. They got their cell phones though. Running their asses off. Now, what do you got right there? You see? But I had my boys on the hill. Gave that motherfucker some payback. Sold me out for chicken change. Told me you had it all arranged. That's what happened. You gotta get ready for the big payback. The big payback. That's when I laugh on the big payback. That's what happened. That's what that motherfucker got. He got some payback. If you ain't got no payback with you, I keep my payback with me. Now, is this gonna solve all my problems? No. Can I be in a situation where a motherfucker just got the drop on me? Absolutely. But if I'm not, best believe I got some get back. Payback. Boom, doo, doo. Boom, 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 doo, doo. Boom, boom. Woo! Hey! That's when I laugh. That's what you better have. Some payback. So yeah, let me be in a situation where I can do some damage. I'm going to do some damage. I'm not going to be out here living on my knees, begging for my life when I ain't got to. Now, motherfucker come up behind me like, hey, nigga, run them pockets. Hey, Bim, you can have them. Run these pockets. Here you go, sir. Yep, sir, I was just saying I needed somebody to run my pockets. I don't mind sharing. Sharing is caring. We all got to give to somebody. We give to God. I might as well give to you. You got a pistol in my head. I don't mind doing that. But if I'm somewhere else and I can peek around the corner, get me some cover or some concealment, nigga, you in trouble. And that's how everybody should be thinking. There was a time back in medieval days where every man carried a fucking sword. Not that he wanted trouble, not that he was looking for trouble, but just in case if some trouble was to come about, or get stirred up, he could do some type of damage and hopefully defend himself. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. So let's go ahead and let's hear what they were saying about Trump, because this has all become Trump's fault to some degree. You know, like I said earlier, everybody blames Trump. I keep that hammer on me just in case I got to nail some shit out. That's right. What do I call it, Easy? I call it a nigga dispatchment tool. That's what I call it. You know why? Because my biggest threat is niggas. It ain't white folk. Now, is there some white folk somewhere plotting on the demise of black folks somewhere? I don't know. Possibly could be. I ain't gonna deny it. I ain't gonna doubt it. Possibly could be. Is there some SA that is willing to take me out? Sure is. But at the end of the day, my closest, my clear and present danger, just like the movie, is niggas. It just is. And while y'all in here, make sure y'all click that like button. December 65 says, why automatic though? Great question. Point is, it's not an automatic. December 65. Automatic weapons are actually illegal. Now, should we be able to have automatic weapons? I think hell yeah. I like the full ride. Would love to have a rifle that could go full ride. But it's a semi-automatic. Just like a handgun. That means you have to pull the trigger every single time a bullet comes out. The only difference, and I'm going to tell you, the only difference between a handgun and a rifle, because even if you got a 10-round magazine, the only difference with this is more accurate and it has higher velocity. That's it. I got more accuracy right here and I have higher velocity. So that means it's more accurate and it goes faster, essentially. That's what the bullets here do. So yes, this causes more wound damage. Yes, it does. Yes, this gives me greater distance. Yes, it does. But it's not a difference in saying, hey, if I get shot with this or I get shot with that, I'm going to die. If the shot placement is the same, I'm going to die. That's all it is. So yes, I can cause some major damage with this. I absolutely can. And the only thing that's going to keep me from causing damage with this is somebody who got something just like it, or somebody who got a better shot on me than me. Because this going up against a shotgun, hey, motherfucker get the right shot, he can win. Chances of him doing that are very slim, because this is way more accurate than a shotgun. Should I have the right to have a precision firearm? Absolutely. Should I have the right to have a high performance firearm? Yes. You know why? Because everybody in America don't drive fucking Yugos, do they? Everybody in America is not forced to drive Hondas. If I can afford it, I can buy a fucking Ferrari. If I can afford it, I can buy a Lamborghini. Is it a high performance car? Does it go faster? Does it cost more? Yes, it does. Can I kill somebody quicker with it? Yes. If your ass is running down the street, do you want to get ran down by a 18-wheeler or do you want to get ran down by a fucking Lamborghini? I can see an 18-wheeler coming better than I can a Lamborghini. That's my point. A Lamborghini is smaller, it's faster, it's way more lethal than me motherfucking running from a big, dumb, slow-ass 18-wheeler. I got more time. So that's the difference. That's why it's not about automatic. It's semi-automatic. Just like a handgun is. Same thing. Same exact thing. So let's go ahead and let's get into this.
We have teams covering the tragedies in both cities and the latest reaction from Washington. We begin with CBS Evening News anchor and managing editor Norah O'Donnell in El Paso. Norah, good morning.
And Anthony, it is a tough morning for people here in El Paso. This is the largest city here on the U.S.-Mexico border. It has been recognized as one of the safest cities in the country, and now it is devastated by gun violence. I want to show you this one research group that defines a mass shooting as any incident in which at least 4 people were shot, excluding the shooter. Well, there have now been at least 250.
Now, did you hear that? They describe a mass shooting as anything more than 4 people being shot. Okay? That's their definition.
5 mass shootings in the U.S. so far in 2019.
So since 2019, there's been at least 255 of these.
Is an average of more than 1 mass shooting for every day this year. The El Paso suspect posted a manifesto on a message board called 8chan, which has been linked to at least 2 other mass shootings this year. Well, overnight and new this morning, the network provider Cloudflare cut off services for 8chan. The FBI served 3 search warrants in the Dallas area and interviewed acquaintances of the suspect. Overnight, we're hearing from his grandparents. They issued a statement saying they are devastated and praying for the victims. You know, this town is 80% Latino, and this Walmart here.
Now, you see that? How they just showed that little piece of what Mexico is and where El Paso is? I wonder why they don't just go and Mexico just go and say, we're going to take this shit over. You know why? Because they got guns over in El Paso. It's people who have guns in El Paso. So it's like there's a certain line that we have to toe, and it's like a lot of times, man, I get the fact that these mass shootings are terrible, but it's a part of our society, and the only way we're going to combat it is we have to get to the root of the people. And in the meantime, because that won't happen overnight, we have got to have more good guys with guns than bad guys with guns. Let me go back to this comment. It's December 65 says, I feel like most people get shot. There's most times people get shot. There's no time to react. Yes, that's a nice rap. Well, thank you, Bruce. Yes, that is true. That is true. But the thing is this, it's not about, in my opinion, it's not about one person getting shot. It's not about 2 people getting shot, or 5 people, or 15, or 20, or 30. It's about saying, when it happens, is there somebody there to stop that person? Those police, and that's why I showed you those police officers in Ohio. Those dudes responded in less than 30 seconds. What the fuck else do you want? The only thing that you could have done to respond quicker than that is for those citizens who were there to have weapons to return fire with. That's it. And here's the thing, and what people don't realize, for those of you who do not carry guns, well, saying, well, I'm not trained to stop an active shooter. It's not about being trained to stop an active shooter. It's about knowing basic gun safety, and it's about knowing basic gunfighting rules. If you know that, all you need to do is create a path of resistance. That's all you need to do. Most of these active shooters are not well trained in the first goddamn place. Secondly, they don't want to get shot. They don't. That's why these motherfuckers had body armor. They wore body armor because they didn't want to get shot. I see you, Bruce, and I'm already ahead of you, sir. They don't want to get shot. So if they have anybody that goes up against them, that shows some type of resistance, that shows some type of, hey, motherfucker, you ain't gonna have no easy win, they instantly retreat or they die. I would take 3 people who are just your regular everyday carry gun dudes going up against one mass shooter in the moment, then 4 policemen on their way to the scene. Guaranteed to save more lives. Guaranteed to save more lives. Because at the end of the day, you looking at pretty much, in some instances, it's damn near a life per second. So it don't matter if I got a 10-round clip or if I got a 100-round clip. If I have bullets, motherfuckers gonna die. And the only thing that's gonna stop me is somebody else who got bullets that can throw them back at me. That's it and that's all.
Here, it's just miles from the U.S. border with Mexico. It is a popular shopping destination for communities on both sides. This massacre marks the deadliest anti-Latino attack in modern American history. We've heard from Mexico's president. He says 6 of the 20 people who died here were Mexican nationals. And the alleged gunman is accused of targeting this city, El Paso. He drove 10 hours.
Now, here's my thing. I know, and this pissed me off. How the fuck is the Mexican president gonna speak out about this shit when he got motherfuckers over there dying, getting their heads cut off by the cartel? How dare you, Mexican, I don't even know his name, Mexican president? You got your people trying to run and risk their lives to come over here, and you talking about violence in America, and you got motherfuckers getting their heads cut off and on live streams over in Mexico? Sir, before you come sweeping in front of my door, you need to sweep in front of your own. That shit pissed me the fuck off. Y'all got the Mexican president making a statement about what the fuck is going on over here, when you got that motherfucker over there bringing the most coke, the most weed, got the most motherfucking, all of MS-13 motherfuckers, those motherfuckers are coming from over there. So all y'all fucking criminals, all y'all cartel motherfuckers that's coming over here, you ain't talking about that. We ain't heard that statement yet. But you talking about these people that then got killed in this mass shooting. Are you fucking kidding me? And the fact that we as a fucking media source, even the fact that CBS even wanted to hear what the fuck he had to say. That's just like us having a bunch of Africans dying, and then we go hear from the president of the Congo to talk about the Africans over here that's dying in the United States. Oh yes, we've had there were 8 Africans that were shot in the mall today. And then we had word from the Congolese president who spoke out about these shootings. Man, if you don't get the fuck out of here. Unbelievable. I could not believe that they even took a statement from this dude. And yes, you can say, well, the dude drove 10 hours to kill a bunch of Hispanics. Yep. I get it. Can you say, well, that was a crime, that was a racially motivated crime? Possibly could be. I ain't trying to deny that. But the last motherfucker I want to hear from is the Mexican president. That motherfucker don't have a right to speak about some shit going on over here against Mexicans, whether they legal or illegal. He don't have a fucking right with all of the shit that's going on over there. You fuck around in Mexico, you can't even go to a resort without driving through 8 checkpoints. With motherfuckers, you got checkpoints, and you know what they got at them checkpoints? You got a bunch of Mexicans like this, sleep with hats on, waiting on cars to come up. Oh, we got a car. Jose, check the car, man. Check the van. That's what they doing. Tell me I'm lying. Anybody that has been to a resort in Mexico, going down to what is that? The playa. Where do we go, baby? Cancun. You go down to Cancun, go to the playa something, whatever the shit is called, and your ass riding to that resort. You ride to them motherfucking whatchamacallit, them checkpoints, and it ain't nothing but a bunch of motherfucking Mexicans sitting back sleep with motherfucking automatic rifles sitting there like this. And the van pull up, and you'll see one like this. You'll have a motherfucker with a dog. They check the motherfucking credentials. And they, okay, go ahead, yeah. They wave to us that's sitting on the bus like, hey, how you doing, my friend? Okay. You go ahead. Vámonos. Why they sitting out there? You sitting there on the beach. What do you see? You see some motherfucking Mexicans walking around with fucking semi-automatic rifles walking up and down the beach. What the fuck they here for? To make sure a motherfucker ain't swimming in the water past 10? No. They making sure the cartel don't come on the resort and kidnap your ass. But he got time to talk about this shit in El Paso. Man, you better get the fuck on about my face. That's all I got to say about that. I was pissed when I heard this shit. I'm like, what the fuck? The Mexican president? Boy.
From his home outside Dallas here. In that manifesto, he allegedly wrote he was denouncing this increasingly Hispanic population of Texas. CTM lead national correspondent David Begnaud is here with me. You have been here all weekend long, and I know you spoke with one of the heroes who was inside that Walmart who helped save lives.
Nora, what this man saw is unreal. What he recorded on his cell phone is actually chilling. You see him running between the aisles to try and avoid the bullets. You hear people screaming. You see folks putting wounded gunshot victims in shopping carts and pushing them to safety. When we interviewed him yesterday, he was still, you could tell, in a state of shock. And the first thing he did when we started our interview was he showed us that video.
I got my gun. My busting guns in Walmart right now. AK, somebody's got shot.
We've bleeped the profanity, but you can only imagine what was going through the mind of 26-year-old Army Specialist Alden Hall. He says he was standing in the produce aisle near one of the exits, heard the gunfire, ran toward the door, and saw the gunman lift his weapon and smirk. When you turned and took off, how quickly after that did you hear gunfire?
Approximately 4 seconds after, and hit the guy next to me.
How close was the man next to you?
Within the arm's length.
Did he survive?
The first shot, yes, but not the second shot.
He took cover between the aisles of food. He turned back to help, but he realized it was too late.
It was fight or flight at that time. I just had to leave because I knew he was 4 seconds after.
And what was going through the mind of 26-year-old Army Specialist
Shopping carts and pushing them to safety.
Now,
when we interviewed him yesterday, he was still, you could tell, in a state of shock. And the first thing he did when we started our interview was he showed us that video.
I got my
first thing out his mouth, I don't got my fucking gun. That's where you fucked up. Now, here's my thing. That guy literally, like he did, what he said is true, to where the shooter was in arm's length of his ass. He let this motherfucker live, essentially. Because with a fucking AK-47 semi-automatic rifle, he could have easily taken him. And here's my other question. What do you think could have happened if he would have had his gun? Army Specialist, shootings going on. What's the first thing that's going on in his mind? It's not help me, please. Somebody, sweet baby Jesus, Lord, where you at? Somebody send down. He wasn't thinking that. First thing in his mind, I ain't got my fucking gun. Which is why I tell people all the time, that shit's like, I will be caught without drawers on before I get caught without my gun. In the toilet, I got my gun. In the backyard, I got my gun. In the bed, I got my gun. Going to get mail, I got my gun. Taking out the trash, I got my gun. When I'm going upstairs, I got my gun. When I'm going downstairs, I got my gun. When I'm going to the pantry, I got my gun. If I'm frying chicken, I got my gun. If I'm cooking a hamburger, I got my gun. That's my point. Everywhere you go, you need to have your gun. Yep, man. When you're going downstairs, take your gun. When you're going upstairs, yeah, take your gun. When you're going out to the trash can, take your gun. When you're going to church to praise the Lord, take your gun. When you're going to the corner store to buy your cigarettos, take your gun. When you're going outside to move the water on your front lawn, take your gun. I say, when I go downstairs to the bathroom to take a shit because I gotta go, I got my gun. When you gotta go to the bathroom, take your gun. When you gotta go to your grandma's house to check on her because she might have fucked around and failed, take your gun. When you gotta go to the front door because you think it's the Jehovah Witness because it's on a Saturday morning and you was out all night and you came home late, but you still go to the door. Take your gun. Take your damn gun. Ain't no way. A fucking Walmart? That's where the niggas, ain't nothing but niggas coming together. Fuck shit. Walmart is a fuck shit gathering place. If you gonna see some, let me ask you this. If you are gonna see some fuckery, niggatry, bullshit, scam shit, ignorant shit, bad shit, terrible shit, what store do you think you would see it at? A Target. B, a Bed Bath & Beyond. C, a Kroger. Or D, a Walmart. I'll wait. Just tell me. I mean, come on, man. You go into a Walmart, you know it's gonna be some bullshit. D for this bullshit right here. That's all I'm saying. And that's the first thing in his mind. I ain't got my goddamn gun. Why? Cause you got your pants on, them what they call them pants, them skinny jeans too tight. Cause you got your muscle shirt tucked the fuck in. Man, come on. We don't live in that world no more, people.
Gun. My busting guns in Walmart right now. AK. Somebody. How I got my gun. My busting guns in Walmart right now. AK. Somebody's got shot.
We've bleeped the profanity, but you can only imagine what was going through the mind of 26-year-old Army Specialist Alden Hall. He says he was standing in the produce aisle near...
And is this motherfucker a ranger or some shit? What they call them motherfuckers? A green beret or some shit like that? No. But he has had weapons training. I don't give a fuck if you go into the Army and you become a goddamn potato peeler. That's all you do. I'm a prep cook. Motherfucker, we gonna teach your ass how to get on this gun line, boss. You gonna go to the gun line and you gonna learn how to shoot that hardware. Everybody learn that. If you go and you a goddamn administrative sergeant, motherfucker, you know how to shoot that iron. You know how to get that weapon. You know how to lock, load. You know how to clear a fucking jam. You know how to function with that gun. Everybody learns it. So this whole thing that maybe that wasn't his thing. Bullshit. Every soldier, everybody, I don't give a fuck if you in the reserves, I don't give a fuck if you in for 2 weeks or if you in for 20 years, you learn how to shoot that hardware. So he was definitely trained.
One of the exits, heard the gunfire, ran toward the door, and saw the gunman lift his weapon and smirk.
When you turned and took off, how quickly after that did you hear gunfire?
Approximately 4 seconds after, and hit the guy next to me.
How close was the man next to you?
Within the arm's length.
Did he survive?
The first shot, yes, but not the second shot.
He took cover between the aisles of food. He turned back to help, but he realized it was too late.
It was fight or flight at that time. I just had to leave because I knew he was gone.
He says he bolted for the closest emergency exit. Other people were hiding under tables as bullets flew by them. Once outside, Hall says people were frozen in place, trying to keep calm. Others were attending to the wounded.
They were being taken out in the carts. It was like back to back to back.
Prosecutors say they will seek the death penalty for 21-year-old Patrick Crucius, seen here in surveillance photos walking into the Walmart with a rifle in hand. In a racist manifesto he allegedly wrote, Crucius expressed support for the Christchurch, New Zealand shooter and denounced the increasing Hispanic population in Texas.
We're going to do what we do to terrorists in this country, which is deliver swift and certain justice.
Alden Hall says he regrets not having his gun on him that day because he felt like he could have done something to intervene, and he's thinking about next time.
I didn't think that I would need an assault rifle or a bigger handgun, but after seeing that yesterday, all things are possible.
Are you planning to buy a bigger weapon?
This is an open carry state, so most definitely.
Boom. You heard that shit?
During our interview,
He didn't say, I would like for my senators and my house, my state reps to come up with better gun laws. We need more gun laws to stop these people from... Ain't no law you can make that's going to keep a motherfucker from doing that. He has the right mentality. Yeah, motherfucker, you caught me slipping this time. You caught me with my pants down. I had my dick in my hand. I had the wrong gun with me. I should have had my rifle. Said I had my gun. This is for killing, this is for fun. He had the wrong one with him. You know what he said? I'm going to make sure I'm ready next time. This open carry state, I guarantee you that motherfucker right now got some, he got an online basket with AR-15 in it somewhere, probably getting him a 45 or a 40 cal. He got some shit on deck that he's planning to purchase right now. I guarantee it. And my thing is, he should. He should. Because you don't know what somebody gonna come up with. What if they outlaw all guns and I got one illegally? Then what? Well, he wasn't supposed to have it. But motherfucker, I'm dead because of your law. I would rather me being able to buy the same shit he got illegally. I would rather have mine legally and be able to at least have a chance against this motherfucker. Let it be because I didn't go to the range enough. Let it be because he got the drop on me and I didn't get a chance to turn around. Let me die because of that. Don't let me die because I was motherfucking going by the law and the law said I ain't supposed to have it. Meanwhile, this motherfucker here got it. That's insane to think that way, man. I don't understand how this whole gun control thing is even a hot topic for people that people are latching on to. How are y'all buying into this narrative? I don't know. The only thing I can think of is that y'all motherfuckers are so afraid of being a victim and y'all are so used to this victimhood mentality that y'all are listening to anything they tell y'all what you need to do.
Mr. Hall says he kept thinking about his kids, his 3 kids, who are all under the age of 10. He says he's serving on active duty for the military here in El Paso. And I should tell you that as for the gunman, prosecutors say they are considering hate crimes charges. And Nora, that could be filed quite quickly. I should tell you, as I was walking up to meet you here, I noticed the same man.
Hey, December 65, good night to you, and I appreciate you coming through. You new here, make sure you click the subscribe button, and I appreciate your comments and everything. Thank you so much. That's what's up.
And we've seen on every mass shooting before today. He's from Chicago. He brings white crosses that he writes the name of the victims and puts their pictures. He's here right now making those crosses, which he'll line up in front of the scene shortly.
As we learn more of the victims' names, David, thank you so much.
Exactly. Because at the end of the day, that's all any of these motherfucking Democrats, any of these politicians, all these motherfuckers is talking all this gun violence shit and how we got to change the laws. You don't see them do shit but show up after the smoke is cleared. And they say the same goddamn thing. They all go on social media and they fucking tweet. Meanwhile, hear me, meanwhile, all of your politicians that's all anti-gun, that's all, well, not anti-gun. I don't want to say that because that's the first thing I think about. We're not anti-gun. We just want to have better control. We want to have background checks. We want to do all those people that talk that. Meanwhile, they all have armed security. They all have Secret Service. They all have the right to carry guns. They all have that. And you don't see, when you start showing me Secret Servicemen with shotguns, then I'll buy Joe Biden what he talking about. Buy a shotgun. You don't need to have an AR-15. Buy a shotgun. Let me see Secret Service put down their handguns. Let me see the Secret Service put down their MP5s. Let me see all y'all motherfuckers do that shit and pick up shotguns. Let me see y'all get some standard double barrels, some standard, 5 or 7 shot shotguns. Let me see y'all have that with some double zero buckshot or whatever. Let me see y'all with that, and then you can talk to me about me putting down mine. How about that? Let me go up to 1600 Pennsylvania and let me see a bunch of people. Let take that military down. Let me see them out there with a bunch of shotguns. Because ain't nobody came and ain't nobody tried to run up into the White House with no AR, so they don't need them, right? So, hey, let them have shotguns and do their thing. Let me see that motherfucker walking around on the roof of the White House. That detail that's up there's like 3 or 4 motherfuckers. Put them sniper rifles down and pick up some motherfucking Mossbergs and some Remington 870s. Tried and true, reliable shotguns. Let me see y'all with that shit. Then you can talk to me about putting down my AR-15. Until then, you can pry it from my cold, dead hands with my bolt open and my barrel smoking. Okay? What's that shit? Come and take. What is it? Molan Labe? That's what it is. Now, I want to show you this other video. And this is good old Mr. Coleon Noir. If y'all don't know him, you should check him out. He was an NRTV spokesperson, but they done parted ways, and he's still doing his thing. But yeah, let's just check him out talking with these assholes from TMZ. Another bunch of privileged, gay community living motherfuckers. Ain't that something? How all these motherfuckers living in these gated communities are the motherfuckers saying we don't need guns. All these motherfuckers that live in these secured facilities, they the motherfuckers that say we don't need guns. You go to work and you got to go through 8 motherfucking security checkpoints to get to your office. Yeah, you cool. Don't nobody need guns. But you got a motherfucker working in Walmart. You don't want him to have no gun. Let me be an employee at Walmart. I'd be like, man, I ain't working here unless I'm carrying my gun. Fuck this. Motherfuckers at Walmart, if I'm a cashier, stock boy, whatever the case may be, I can have my zebra print on one side, printing labels, and I should be able to have my motherfucking 9mm on the other side. Concealed carry. Yes. Because a motherfucker's more likely to get shot at a Walmart than they are at the goddamn House of Representatives. And there's motherfuckers there with guns, ain't it? Best believe it. Facts. This shit here.
Welcome back. Live early Monday morning, President Trump addressed the media talking about the mass shootings in El Paso and in Dayton, Ohio. And he did not talk about one thing in particular that I think a lot of people wanted him to talk about.
He blamed everybody, never talked about gun control.
Didn't talk about gun control. This is what he said instead.
We must reform our mental health laws to better identify mentally disturbed individuals who may commit acts of violence and make sure those people not only get treatment, but when necessary, involuntary confinement. Mental illness and hatred pulls the trigger, not the gun.
Yeah.
So
that sounds like an NRA talking point, by the way, right there. That mental. I mean, we've heard that.
Now, what is the? Here's my first thing. What is this thing about saying when people say statements that are true, it seems like the people who disagree with it, all they do is say, "Oh, well, that's one of that person's talking points. Oh, well, that's an NRA talking point. Oh, that's a conservative talking point. Oh, that's a leftist talking point. Oh, that's a LGBTQ talking point." What the fuck does that mean? Oh, that's a Tommy Sotomayor talking point. What the fuck does that mean? If what I'm saying is true, hey, when water evaporates, it goes up into the atmosphere, and once so much of it is collected, it then comes down again as rain. Oh, that there is a weatherman's talking point. Motherfucker, that's a true statement. What are you talking about? I don't understand why we've gotten to the point to where we take factual information. We take things that are said that are true and backed up by, and supported with facts. And we try to minimize it or diminish it by just saying it's nothing but a mere talking point. Dude, that's some factual shit that he just said. I don't give a fuck if he was the goddamn Dalai Lama. It ain't no Dalai Lama talking point. That's some true shit. Why do we feel like mental illness isn't a problem in this country? Not just as an active shooter piece, in general. Our country has a lot of people suffering from mental illness. Brandon Marshall goes and speaks out about it. Oh, well, he's a great person. He's doing some activist work. He's making a great statement. It's profound. He's helping people. Donald Trump says it. Oh, that's an NRA talking point. Yes, we've heard that before. That is rhetoric. It's one of those NRA gun-toting rhetoric's talking points. That's what it is. It's that rhetoric they keep spewing against the good people of America.
That too many times after
Trigger, not the gun.
Yeah.
When necessary, involuntary confinement. Mental illness and hatred pulls the trigger, not the gun.
Yeah.
So
it's fucking true. And the fact that they don't want to just say, well, hey, he has a point, but here's what I disagree with. Why not be genuine and say that? It makes me think of them as just being disingenuous assholes that don't want to do anything but push their narrative. They're like, those are the kind of people to me, which will be like, fuck the truth, fuck the facts, this how I feel, this what I think it should be, so that's it. Those are the kind of motherfuckers that I don't like dealing with. When you can bring to me some factual evidence, when you can speak to me facts, even though I can disagree with your point, I still will acknowledge what you're saying. It's just like when people say, oh, so you think we shouldn't do nothing about the gun situation here in America? Yes, I do. But I don't think it starts with changing the fucking Second Amendment. I don't think it starts with having a gun registry. I don't. I just don't. Do I think there are gun safety issues? Yep. Do I think there's gun training issues? Absolutely. Do I think there are issues where we need to have more resources for people? Sure do. But that's all I'm saying is that's my position. If you think we need to do this, okay, great. I'm not going to minimize and say, oh, that's just one of those leftist Democratic talking points. That's all they do.
That sounds like an NRA talking point, by the way, right there.
And there's something wrong with an NRA talking point, essentially. Okay.
I mean, we've heard that, too many times after these incidents, after these horrific incidents of violence.
It's the old mantra: guns don't kill people, people kill people.
Right.
So
tell me if that is not true. Somebody, please tell me that that's not true. There's no ban on knives. Do you realize that over in fucking France, those dumbasses are talking about trying to ban knives now? Because they banned guns and so many motherfuckers are dying from knives. Knives done spiked 200%. So many people are dying from knives, they're thinking about getting rid of knives. So all the fucking chefs in fucking France are going to be fucked up in a minute. Well, I have to do my French fries and my pastries with this spoon. You cannot cut the cake, you spoons the cake. You do not, oh no, you do not cut the pastry, you spoon the pastry. That's what you do. Seriously.
But a lot of people are feeling like, especially because, look, yes, we've had a lot of mass shootings, way too many, one is too many, but this weekend in particular, it is hitting people because of the fact that there were two of them within 24 hours.
13 hours apart.
Yeah. And so will Americans demand more this time?
Here's my thing. 2 shootings, 13 hours apart. Are they connected? Absolutely not. Is it terrible? Sure is. So am I to say now, hey guys, it's been 36 hours since a mass shooting. Woohoo! It has nothing to do with it, man. Nothing to do with it.
And I guess the question is, why the opposition? That's what I want to get into. Why the opposition to just banning assault rifles?
Right.
That's the question. That's the focus. I mean, that's a focus.
Right.
But that's the question. And what is the resistance to that? So let's.
Here's my thing. And this is for anybody. When you get into a gun discussion, one of the first things you should do is you need to correct people when they're using the wrong terms. An assault rifle It's not an assault rifle. The AR in AR-15 does not mean assault rifle. It doesn't. I don't know where people have come up with that, but that is not what it is. And a lot of people, especially on the left, they know that. But they use the word assault rifle because it demonizes that type of rifle more than it does than to just call it an AR-15. AR stands for Armor Light Rifle. Those were the original motherfuckers who came up with the plan for that style or that platform of rifle. That's it. That's what the AR stands for. It does not mean assault rifle. It don't mean automatic rifle. It does not. An AR-15, it is a semi-automatic rifle. That's it. That's all it is. It's a semi-automatic rifle. That's what an AR-15 is. An AK-47, it is a semi-automatic rifle. That's it. Just telling you, an AK-74, it's a semi-automatic rifle. That's it. That's all it is, man. So I'm just telling people. And when you correct them, and when they still go back to that, then you know what they're on. They're on because they're just trying to demonize it. It's just like how when lawyers are trying murder cases, how they try not to say the person's first and last name because it makes them more human. They want that person to be looked at as a monster. So that's why they say the assailant, the alleged perpetrator. That's why they say this person then viciously did this. They use those words to keep that person not being human so that those motherfucking 12 people that are judging that person, they will not see the human side of that individual.
And I honestly, when President Trump spoke this morning, I thought, I'm tired, sick and tired of hearing mental illness being used as a shield against dealing with what you're talking about assault weapons.
I want to get into this.
Let's. So joining us now is a man you've seen. He was the face of NRA TV, one of their hosts, one of their main hosts, and he is joining us now. Colion Noir.
Actually, December 65 police officers do have not only semi-automatic weapons, but they have full rides, if you will. They have AR-15 style firearms that have the automatic weapon capability. Yes, they do. Yes, they do. So they do have the same thing that we got, but they have that full ride capability with their firearms. Now, in my opinion, I don't think you necessarily need a full ride. I don't think you need an automatic weapon. It does nothing but gives you rapid fire, and it puts it in a situation to where you can you're not very accurate. It's very hard to stay accurate with that type of firearm. Now, a 3-round burst, I would love to have that. But unless you having a fucking zombie apocalypse, you don't need an automatic rifle. You got some World War Z motherfuckers running at you, yeah, you might need automatic. Other than that, it's something that you don't need. Would it be fun to have? Absolutely. Probably fun as hell to shoot. I would agree. Having a 3-round burst would be amazing. But at the end of the day, it's something to where it's an option, essentially. It's like having a charger and having a computer on your car that gives you another 150 horsepower. Is it something that you need? Nope, but it sure is fucking fun to have it as an option.
A gun rights activist, and as I said, former face of NRA TV, Colion. Welcome to TMZ Live.
Hey, Colion.
Absolutely. How's it going? Thanks for having me, guys. Sorry about that.
We're good. So, what do you make of what happened this weekend?
I think it's terrible. I think the interesting thing about when these shootings happen is we kind of all go to both of our sides and act as if one side doesn't care about these shootings and the other side doesn't care about these shootings. I think we're all trying to figure out how to solve this issue in this country, and it hurts and affects everyone. We just kind of have different approaches to how we think we can fix it.
Now, that is one of the things that you will very seldomly hear people who are pro-gun control say. They will never, ever, I've yet to hear them, whenever they're talking about these situations, I never hear them just acknowledge the actual incident and saying, man, this is terrible for the families. This is terrible for the victims. This is a terrible situation, period. I'm so sorry that it happened. They will always say, this is what we're talking about. This is why we need this. This is why we do this. This is why we need a law, so this won't happen. None of them can guarantee this. If we had this law, this wouldn't be happening. This is one more too many. If we had this law in place, they wouldn't have never done this. It's BS. Because all it is a law. It's a ban. Whatever you want to call it. It don't mean that it cannot happen. Just because you have something banned and something's illegal, it does not mean that I cannot illegally obtain it. It doesn't. So the point of this, it's very, very, very disingenuous when they talk about these situations, and the first thing they do is try to blame this all on the fact we don't have more gun control, because there is gun control in place. They just want more of it.
But well, I guess more specifically, the focus certainly that the president.
And you see how when they asked him about it, they didn't even expect him to acknowledge it. And he did, which kudos to him. But they still try, well, let's get off into what the president said, because we don't care about that. We don't care about the families. We don't care about the situation that happened. We don't care about trying to stop this from happening this way. We just want to get into the why he ain't talking about more gun control. Because that's all they give a fuck about. Because they think that's the cure.
From what he said this morning, seems like the focus should be on identifying people who have mental health issues, as opposed to dealing. He said nothing about
gun control,
the guns.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think right now we have about 20,000 gun control laws on the federal and state level. I think at this point there's a level of redundancy to the idea that we keep approaching this from a gun control standpoint and not start investigating from a more nuanced position.
Well,
and
Colian,
now, you see how he just glossed over that shit? So he said, hey, man, it's not that we don't have any gun laws. It's not that we just reckless with firearms. There are plenty of laws in place. Just like there are plenty of laws against illegal drugs. There are plenty of laws against cocaine. Just like how Rubik's AAA said. There are laws against heroin. Shit is still running rampant and killing motherfuckers day in and day out. There are laws and there are rules to the road. You still got motherfuckers speeding. You still got motherfuckers riding with no seatbelts. You still have people driving recklessly. So having more driving laws, is that the answer? Obviously not. Having more drug laws, is that the answer? Obviously not. How can we as a country move from having just say no to drugs, winners don't do drugs? How do we go from a campaign of having a war on drugs, literally having a drug czar, war on drugs? How do we go from that to actually acknowledging that we have an opiate epidemic and we need to help these people? How do we have that to where we're even now looking at big pharma and the pharmaceutical companies for what they're bringing to the drug abuse game legally? How do we get to that point, but we can't see that here from a gun perspective, from a gun violence perspective? Well, let's just not look at the goddamn weapon. Let's look at the motherfuckers pulling the triggers. What kind of motherfuckers are these?
I hear what you're saying. So let's make it more nuanced. We're speaking specifically about assault weapons, assault rifles, where you can.
Why not ban them?
Right.
Why just however many there are, whether there are 4 or 4,000 laws, why not ban assault weapons, since that?
Here's the thing, sir. The reason why you don't ban them, the reason why your case in point to ban them is a moot point. It's because assault rifles, automatic or semi-automatic rifles, are not responsible for the highest number of gun deaths. They're not. They're not. Airplane crashes are always terrible. Why? Because it's a large amount of people all dying at once. However, we don't ban planes. Why? Because even though when an airplane crash takes place, as terrible as it is, we do understand and realize that it's more people dying from other vehicles and automobiles and trains and planes and automobiles. Than trains and automobiles than it is from fucking planes. You have a plane crash maybe once a year where maybe 70 people will die. But you can have 70 people die in a holiday weekend on the road in cars. We ain't banning cars, are we? So why are we talking about banning airplanes? Boom.
Is the weapon of choice for these crazy people.
So for the sake of Samantha, let's be very clear that assault weapons, by and large, are banned in this country. The actual guns used in these particular cases were semi-automatic rifles. And so right now in this country, we have about 15 to 20 million of these rifles in this country. So
15 to 20 million semi-automatic rifles in the country. How many cars do we have in the country? More people dying from car accidents, more people dying from handguns than it is from people dying with semi-automatics. That, sir, Mr. TMZ, that is why we won't just ban them.
the idea that we're going to push a button and then just ban them and they're all going to disappear,
But why not
I think is a bit. I think
you're
that's,
right.
I think
You're
that's
right.
a
It
bit
will take
naive.
time. Yeah, it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen overnight. But why
Yeah, but
not?
then there's also
why? I mean, it's almost like saying, you know, Chicago had so many murders this weekend. Why even have a law prohibiting murder? Why try people? They're just going to murder anyway. I mean, of course.
Well, you're not accounting, but you're also not accounting for the idea that we have a Second Amendment in this country. And then, as far as I'm concerned,
what does that mean? Explain what that means.
What it means? It means the same thing as that I have a Fourth Amendment right, a First Amendment right, and a Second Amendment right.
How do you view the Second Amendment?
I view the Second Amendment right from the standpoint in the way that it was stated, that I have a right to bear arms for the preservation of a free state and to protect my life.
So do you I have a question about that. Do you have a right to bear any arms? I mean, for example, in California, you can't have nunchucks. There are all sorts of things. You can't have a cannon.
Why the fuck is nunchucks banned? What the fuck is wrong with California? So I can't have a goddamn nunchuck? What the fuck kind of shit is that? Why would you ban nunchucks? I don't get that. What the fuck did the nunchucks do to people? How many people was dying from nunchucks when they banned nunchucks? What the hell is that about, man? When the fuck did nunchucks get banned? Y'all get to help me with that. I can't, that's why I never live in California. Why can't I have a nunchuck in California? Why? What is so terrible about how many people done died from the nunchuck to where a motherfucker can't have them in California no more? So what? Motherfucking Michelangelo can't go to goddamn California because he had nunchucks? Y'all done fucked around and done basically you banned one of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Yeah, that's Michelangelo, ain't it? Raphael got the size, Leonardo got the sword, Donatello got the pole. Yeah, goddamn Michelangelo can't go to motherfucking California because these motherfuckers done fucked around and voted to ban nunchucks. What the fuck is wrong with you, California? That's some crazy shit. Yes, it is. That's why, man, boy, California, y'all on my shit list now. You motherfuckers done banned motherfucking nunchucks. What the fuck is Bruce Lee supposed to be doing if he was still alive today? So I guess ain't no Enter the Dragon, ain't no Fist of Fury, ain't no Chinese Connection, because California done banned nunchucks. What about the dude who did the backflip and bust his motherfucking head before he could even get the nunchucks out? I guess that was the one that did it. They was like, see, you see what this black guy did? This nigga almost killed himself because he had nunchucks. We gotta ban them. Boy, I tell you, nunchucks ain't covered by the Constitution. Well, god damn it, they should be. The 45th Amendment. Nunchucks should be carried by all who want to carry and shall not be infringed upon.
You can't have all sorts of things.
You cannot have.
So it's not absolute. Just the way the First Amendment is an absolute. If you scream fire in a crowded movie theater, that's not protected speech. So
yeah,
nothing is absolute.
and those same. same limitations apply to the Second Amendment. From the Second Amendment standpoint, I can't murder anybody with my gun. The same way you can't yell fire in a movie theater. If you do, you go to jail. If I use a firearm to kill someone, I go to jail.
Right.
And that's why they don't want to acknowledge that. He explained it very eloquently. Yes, there are laws that go against the First Amendment, which say you can't yell fire in a movie theater because other people can get hurt. You're right. So I can't just take my gun and just shoot it off in the fucking air in the middle of a crowd full of people. I will get shot. I can't just take my gun and just get to capping motherfuckers because I'm having a terrible day and it's my right to carry a gun. I will go to jail and I will suffer the consequences of the law, or I will even get shot, if not both. Plain and simple. So it's like they making this narrative up as to where there are no laws against guns, and there absolutely are. You have to have a permit to carry, even though you shouldn't have to, but you do. You got to go through a background check. You don't, but you shouldn't have to, but you do. You got to have, if you crazy, you can't have a gun. So why are you making it seem like there are no laws in place when there are actually thousands of them?
The whole concept of gun control is effectively putting a muzzle on all of the people walking into a movie theater because you're not allowed to yell fire.
Well,
so
except, Colin, I got to ask you something. We're talking about the right to bear arms. That is not, and never has been, an absolute right. So given that it's not an absolute...
Now, I don't know what the fuck Constitution this dude is reading, but he's absolutely 1,000% wrong. That's exactly what the fuck that shit is. I don't understand what the hell he talking about, but the Second Amendment says just that, dumbass.
Right, that there are certain weapons you can't have. Why not add assault weapons and semi-automatics?
No. The right to bear arms is an absolute right. It's the only constitutional amendment that has literally stated in it shall not be infringed. It is absolutely an absolute right.
Yeah, he should have stopped right then and there and said, yeah, you're right. And see, this is my thing about having the conversation versus you trying to push a narrative. People that have conversations will acknowledge other people's talking points or their facts when they're stated. And even if they're corrected, they will acknowledge that they've been corrected and that the other person is right. When you're, however, trying to push a narrative or you're trying to support an agenda, you won't acknowledge that, and you'll just keep going back and saying what it is you want to say or saying your talking points, and you won't acknowledge what the other person is saying. It's just like if I'm sitting there and I'm talking to Bruce Taylor about the best basketball team of all time. If he's saying this the motherfucking Lakers and I'm saying this the Bulls, to say, well, that Magic Johnson, he was a cold lad. He's the best point guard of all time. And for me to say, well, the Bulls didn't necessarily need point guards because we had Michael Jordan. No. The conversation is yes. Magic Johnson was a cold-ass point guard. However, Michael Jordan whooped that ass in '88. You see what I'm saying? You acknowledge the point and you can still make yours, but you have to be able to hear the other side. When you're not acknowledging other people's points and facts, then you're not really listening, which means you're not really having a conversation or debate. You are just simply talking your talking points, pushing your agenda, and literally controlling your narrative, which is what these two guys are doing.
Read the First Amendment? I want to make this point. Have you read the First Amendment?
Of course I've read the First Amendment.
Congress shall make no law. No. The word no is in there. No law. Yet there are laws. There are all sorts of laws. You're not allowed to threaten people. You're not allowed to, you're not allowed to use hate speech in some cases.
No. There's nothing in the Constitution about hate speech in the First Amendment. It says nothing about hate speech.
There are all sorts of laws, even though it says no laws because it's interpreted reasonably. So
and Harvey,
hold on. It is
we
not,
have 20,000 of those laws on the state and federal level.
Okay,
we're past.
Right. You see how he didn't acknowledge that? It's like, so he made the point that even though you have the First Amendment, which it says Congress should make no laws about it, I get it. Yep, you're right. However, there are laws saying, hey, you can't go and do this. You can't go and say that. On certain platforms, you can't say certain things. I hear that. And you're right. However, the same thing applies to the Second Amendment. Shall not be infringed upon, but yet and still, you couldn't have a goddamn handgun in Chicago up until 4 years ago. So what the fuck are you talking about? There are laws that are against certain types of speech. There are laws that are against freedom of speech, just like there are laws against fucking certain handguns. There are laws against having weapons or having the right to bear arms. It shall not be infringed upon, but yet still it is. Where are we missing this at? Because yes, I can say whatever I want because it's a free country to a degree, but yet and still I can't own a fucking Javelin rocket launcher if I want one, can I? No, I should be able to, but I can't. Can I? Why? Because there are laws in place that keep me from that. I can't have a fucking bunch of fucking concussion grenades, can I? No. Are they arms? Yes. I can't have a goddamn RPG, can I? No. Are there laws against it? Yes. So what are we talking about here? And the fact that you just want to lump one more on there, well, let's just get rid of all semi-automatic rifles. Motherfucker, you don't have that right. That's why that shit is put in place. So if enough assholes like you get together and say, yeah, I think this is what we should do, why not do it? Then you don't get to just do that because it's not a fucking privilege, asshole. It's a right. And you don't have the right or the fucking privilege or the fucking power to tell me what I can and cannot carry just because you feel that way.
The point of being reasonable at this point.
Add one more. Let's just add one more. Then after we add one more, let's just add two more. Let's just add another one. How about we just add another one? Meanwhile, people are steady dying, and it's the motherfuckers who are breaking the laws are the motherfuckers that's committing the most crimes. Right. While you go and drive your punk ass into your gated community every night. While when you go home, you wave to your 24/7 security guard who's sitting there with a fucking gun to keep me out, to keep them out, to keep her out, to keep him out, and anybody else who don't have a fucking house there without going through some type of checkpoint. Isn't that convenient than a motherfucker? So yeah, you don't have to worry about somebody 3 or 4 niggas kicking in your fucking front door to come and rob you. You don't have to worry about that. Why? Because they can't even get into your fucking neighborhood because it's a gated community. And that's my point to this is, you see how motherfuckers who have protection, who live under the umbrella of a bunch of motherfuckers protecting them, you see how they're so nonchalant with your own personal safety for those of you who don't have that who can't afford to have that type of lifestyle? Isn't that something? The people who live under firearm protection, the people who live in gated community protection, those are the main people who are trying to take away any means of you protecting yourself. Isn't that something? They're so nonchalant with it. Oh, you don't need that. Buy a shotgun, says Joe Biden, who has fucking armed security around him for the rest of his life. So I guess I got to go be vice president in order for me to be safe. Joe Biden, you want to show somebody something? Get rid of your Secret Service and just carry a fucking shotgun and show me how safe you feel. Show me how safe you and your family feel. You want to prove a point? You want to be an example? You want to be a leader for this great country? Get rid of your security detail and walk around with a fucking shotgun. Get you a fucking Mossberg 500. Shut the fuck up. Don't say shit else about it. Don't talk about no goddamn bare arms. Don't talk about taking away no guns. Get you a Mossberg 500. Get rid of all of your security detail for you and your family and move your punk ass out of that gated community you live in. And then we can talk, sir.
Outright and complete utter infringement at this point.
It's not an infringement.
So, but
Colin,
the reason
what do you use a semi-automatic for other than killing people?
I use it to scratch my back at night, God damn it. I don't have to explain what the fuck I use it for. What do you use a Lamborghini for, sir? What do you use a Ferrari for? It's an F-150. What are you using that for, sir? Can you explain to me why you have a Bugatti? Because I like the motherfucker. It makes my ass feel good when I sit in it. Why do we have to explain what we use in a semi-automatic rifle for? I use it because I like the way it feels in my hand. That's what I use it for. I use it as inswell on my forehead at night. The barrel being cold, it soothes my migraines. How about that, sir?
I don't kill anybody. I've never killed anyone.
Well,
And
what
I
do
know
you
tons of millions.
What do you use it for?
I use it for self-defense. I use it for recreation. The people use it for hunting. There are a myriad of reasons why people own firearms.
Right. It's like, and to say that, it's like, what are you really saying? Hell, what do you wear Versace for, sir? What do you wear red bottoms for? What are you wearing Gucci for? Why would you need to wear Chanel? Why would you need to have all of these expensive things? What do you use them for? It's not about what I use it for. It's about me wanting it and me being able to afford it and me being able to have it because I want it. That's what America is about. I got it because I can. Why do you have a car that has 700 horsepower? Because I can.
But
We're
for
not
me,
talking
the
about
most
firearms,
important.
Colion. We're talking specifically about the type of weapons that we use, semi-automatic
Semi-automatic.
rifles.
You do realize that essentially every gun out now, every modern gun now is a semi-automatic gun, including pistols.
Now, is that a fact? Yes. And listen to what these assholes say.
Well, what
Okay.
do you know, it's funny because Donald Trump said
They didn't even acknowledge it, didn't they? You see how they just glossed over it? Which means you're not having a conversation, man. You're just pushing a fucking narrative. Let's listen to it again.
Every modern gun now is a semi-automatic gun, including pistols.
Well, what
Okay.
do you know, it's funny because Donald Trump said, we've got to just make it so that we can.
And even the black dude, Maxi Priest looking motherfucker, he's sitting there like, this Negro has a point. What can I say to rebut that? I don't know.
Identify mentally ill people better than we do.
Yeah, he just glossed over all that shit.
Colion, you're not nearly as old as me, but I remember
Pistols.
Well,
Okay.
what do you know, it's funny because Donald Trump said, we've got to just make it so that.
Let me tell you something, man. Anybody, when you having these types of conversations, not just about the Second Amendment, but when you having a conversation, period, with people and you're coming from a position of truth, facts, logic, you're putting facts over feelings. When you're talking to people like that and they don't acknowledge what you say, when you drive home a point that's undeniable, that they have to acknowledge and they don't, those are the kind of people that aren't trying to have a conversation. They're just literally trying to either talk out of the side of their neck from what they're hearing out in the media, and they're just using the trigger words, and they're just using those hot words that are being said right now, or they're just totally misinformed and don't even give a goddamn about learning or being informed about a particular subject that you're talking to them about. They just don't.
We can identify mentally ill people better than we do. You know, we can identify.
Hunting. There are a myriad of reasons why people own firearms. But for
We're not
me,
talking
the
about
most
firearms,
important.
Colion. We're talking specifically about the type of weapons that we use, semi-automatic rifles.
Well, you do realize that essentially every gun out now, every modern gun now is a semi-automatic gun, including pistols.
Well,
Okay.
what do you know, it's funny because Donald Trump said, we've got to just make it so that we can identify mentally ill people better than we do. You know, Colion, you're not nearly as old as me, but, I remember many, many years ago that all of a sudden, every time there was a mass shooting, they would interview neighbors and they'd say, he was such a nice guy. He always said good morning. So the idea that we're going to somehow solve this by this fantasy of identifying mentally ill people is bullshit.
How so? Do we not take the same approach when it comes to the idea of dealing with terrorism? We have systems in place right now which we use to as indicators to to justify or to determine whether somebody is a potential terrorist or not.
Yeah,
Why
try
can't
it.
we
Okay,
do?
try
Why
it,
can't
but
we
it
do?
doesn't
Why can't
work.
we do the same? I mean, we just had a case now that happened. There was a shooting that was thwarted not too long ago before these shootings that just happened by a grandmother of someone who was planning to commit a mass shooting, and we were able to do that in that sense. So why couldn't?
See how he didn't let him finish his point? Because he's right. Yes, there have been plenty of instances where either the FBI or CIA either had knowledge of a terrorist or were actually able to apprehend a terrorist. So it's not that it's perfect, not saying that, but there are factual instances where they have shown, hey, us doing these checks and profiling these motherfuckers, the shit gives us some insight to where we can stop shit. How many times have you heard of these terrorists doing shit and it turns out they were on the FBI watch list? It turns out they were on the CIA. The CIA had knowledge of these motherfuckers existed, but either reacted too late or didn't fucking react at all. Happens all the goddamn time. Them motherfuckers knew about Bin Laden and them sending his people over here to learn how to fly them goddamn planes. And they did not act on it. They thought it was, oh, hey, these goddamn Arabs aren't going to do that. That's exactly what it was. So don't give me that bullshit. He just literally just did not want to acknowledge that, yeah, there's some truth to what the fuck he's saying. It's happened plenty of times. Yeah, we caught this motherfucker. He was doing this. We had been watching his ass for 6 months. We found out that he did this and he did that. We got his ass. He gone. He locked up. Damn, we was on this motherfucker's heels. However, he beat us to the punch, and that's how he got to do what he did. But we definitely had him on our watch list. We were aware of this guy. You hear that shit all the goddamn time. They were even talking about, and that's one of the main reasons why you had Obama, who signed that Homeland Security Act, to where motherfuckers can listen to any goddamn thing. That's why they did it, because what did they say? Well, we couldn't do this because we didn't have access based on the laws that are in place. We couldn't go this far. Oh, okay. Obama said, all right, go ahead. Now you got all the reach you want. Do whatever the fuck you want to do. Get out how you live. It is what it is. You mean to tell me that motherfucking Facebook and the motherfuckers on the internet, these motherfuckers on social media platforms couldn't have fucking indicators where if you put some shit, I'm gonna shoot these motherfuckers? When you have these manifestos get posted on social media where it don't trigger the fucking FBI, if I put on Facebook, I'm about to go crazy on these motherfuckers. They don't know who the fuck I am. I'm gonna show their ass what time it is. I'm just saying. If I post that shit on social media, yes, the fucking CIA should get triggered for that shit. Yes, the FBI should get a trigger for that shit. Because I shouldn't be saying that shit. That's all I'm saying. And whoever hit me up on the PayPal, thank you. Go ahead and hit that PayPal, hit that Cash App for your boy.
Okay. Get real for a second. Do you really believe?
Well, Mark, just because you
Hold
disagree with me
on,
doesn't mean
hold
I'm
on.
not being.
No, I know, but do you really believe?
You see that shit? When I'm not saying what you want me to say, I'm not being real. Now you want me to get real. Dude, I'm fucking stating facts. What the fuck is you talking about? We don't want to hear facts. I don't get that shit. And not just liberals, niggas too. They don't want to hear facts. Fact of the matter is, motherfucking this niggas causing more problems for niggas than it is fucking Trump causing problems for niggas. Yeah, but Trump a racist though. When the last time a fucking racist came and robbed your house? When was the last time a racist came and motherfucking broke in your car? When was the last time a racist motherfucking stole your credit card? When was the last time a racist stole your identity? I tell you one thing though, plenty of niggas done did it.
So
and we were able to do that in that sense. So why couldn't we do that?
Get real for a second. Do you really believe?
Well, Mark, just because you disagree with me doesn't mean I'm not being.
No, I know. But do you really believe that this country or any country has the capacity to identify every person who might have a predilection for becoming a mass murderer?
Now that is just an idiotic statement. That's not even a genuine or a realistic statement to make. Of course not. Who could? So why even make that statement? And then to turn that back around, right? You're right. And to turn that back around, are you saying that a law banning semi-automatic rifles will stop mass shootings? No. So what you're saying now, you're literally not making any type of sense or any type of point at all. All you're doing is spewing the same talking points that most liberals do say. That's all you're doing. You're trying to support your point and your position with bullshit, idiotic statements. Because there is no law that will stop mass shootings. There is no law in existence that will stop mass shootings. There isn't. And people can say, well, over in Australia, they don't have guns. They don't have mass shootings the size that we do. In Australia, it's not motherfucking the same size. I mean, they don't have the same amount of guns that we have here. In Australia, they don't have the same constitution that we have here. In Australia, they don't have the same laws that we have here. So no, what you say will work in Australia will work here. That's not accurate. Just like when I bring up Venezuela. Everything that we do that Venezuelan does, we won't. We're not that type of country. But to even try to entertain some of those ideas, I can definitely show you and compare to where it could possibly lead us. And that ain't where the fuck I want to go. I'm more terrified of knives than I am of guns. I don't want to get stabbed. I'd rather get shot than get stabbed. That's just me personally. But I'm not sitting here saying, yeah, we should ban guns, we should ban knives, we should ban sticks, we should ban rocks, we should ban tools. There's a hammer ban, we got a screwdriver ban, there's a drill ban. You can't have shit that can hurt another person, period. It doesn't make sense.
The same way I'm asking you, do you honestly believe that we can get rid of 400 million guns in this country? And
Eventually,
if we can't,
yes.
Eventually.
Yes. And
Eventually.
but here's the thing, Harvey. There's still a Second Amendment, so that is a direct violation of the Second
I don't
Amendment.
think it is.
Dude, you cannot, I'm going to tell you like this, and this is something Corleone missed. You cannot get rid of fucking guns in this country. You know why? Because niggas have resources. We have motherfucking forgers here. People who can take motherfucking molds of shit and build shit. You have fucking 3D printers here. We can actually take a computer and design and build some shit here. We got resources in this motherfucker. You can take every goddamn gun you wanted today and you'll have some motherfucking white boys, some Mexicans, and some niggas making them same guns tomorrow by hand. And that's the truth. You can't get rid of that shit here. We got blueprints. We got access to resources, man. It's some motherfucking rednecks right now in the backwoods of Virginia right now that'll say, yeah, they can take these guns they want to, but I got myself a forge. I got me some metal back there. I'll be firing up my furnace tomorrow, making me a new. I'm just telling you, that's the truth. That shit about us having, man, the way America is set up, you can't get rid of that shit. There's a ban on fucking heroin. What you see out there? Heroin. That brown. See that cocaine. The ban on that shit. They just seized 300 motherfucking kilos of that shit, or $300 million worth of that shit a couple of weeks ago. Maybe a little drought, but it's still coke out here. I'm just saying.
About how could
I
you
think
not?
that's
It's a
up to the
constitutional
Supreme
right.
Court to decide.
Like I said,
It's the only constitutional right that literally says shall.
No, it's
No,
not.
we just went over that. We just went over that. We just went over that.
We just went through it with you.
No, Harvey. You made
It's
a statement.
but you just, what you're saying is factually incorrect.
How so?
It's not the only constitutional amendment.
Because
Read
the First Amendment says it also.
Read the First Amendment.
Henry, so you're essentially validating my point. You are willing to completely violate the Second Amendment because you're willing to ban all of the guns in the country.
No.
The same constitution.
No. We're not talking about banning all the guns in the country. We are not
when you are
talking
talking about
that.
banning semi-automatic guns, yes, you are.
Really? Because
and that's where they're fucking up at. That's where people, and that's how I know that these two guys here, fucking Bert and Ernie, they don't fucking, I'm just bullshit. But these two guys here, they don't have fucking guns. Because they don't even understand the basic principles of guns. Based on the ATF, There's certain guidelines and regulations that determine if a gun is a pistol or if it's a rifle. And if you're going to ban semi-automatic style rifles, then you're talking about banning semi-automatic weapons. That's what you're doing. Because there are pistols right now, today, that look like and function like semi-automatic rifles. They're just smaller. Same magazine capacity. Look like, function like semi-automatic rifles. There are guns, and you can Google them, that look just like this, that function just like this, but are called legally by the ATF. They are called pistols. Google it. It's called an AR pistol. There are weapons that look like this, function like this, can be modded like this, and are called pistols. That's a fact. And they don't know that. That's all I'm saying. So no, that's why we understand the people that are Second Amendment supporters, we understand what the fuck adding one more rule to the law books would mean. We're not fucking stupid. And everybody else that has this thing of, well, you conservative Second Amendment extremists, all y'all want to do is y'all think somebody trying to take y'all guns. No, motherfucker, we just understand the law, and we understand what the law means and what it does. And we understand it's not a ban on assault rifles, because now you're talking about what is an assault rifle, what looks like one or what functions like one. The ATF ain't stupid. They're not going to say, well, if it looks like an AR, then you can't have it. No, they don't function like that. They don't go off their feelings. They go by facts. What are the characteristics of this particular firearm? And we're going to use that to govern what it is and what it ain't. And what it's going to come down to is semi-automatic. That's a fact.
What is still semi-automatic? What I'm talking about is rifles.
You're essentially relegating my protection and the safety of everyone else in this country to essentially muskets at that point, because the vast majority of every firearm is semi-automatic. Absolutely.
Calling out the shooter in Dayton, Ohio. In 20 seconds.
Based on what they were saying, essentially what we would essentially wind up with are revolvers, 6-shooters, shotguns. That's essentially what these dudes are talking about. And they're so ignorant to guns. They're so ignorant to how guns work that they don't even know that. But yet and still, these are the people we should be entrusting to come up with laws to make us safe. That's essentially what they're talking about. We would be simply left with shotguns that are 5-round pump action. Because you can't have no AA motherfucking 12. No, sir. That is a semi-automatic weapon. Even though it shoots out shotgun shells, it's still semi-automatic. Finito, gone. We would have revolvers, and we would have fucking shotgun pump actions. That's it. But they don't even understand that because they don't know shit about guns.
In just 20 seconds was able to murder 9 people. You don't think that that's extreme?
That's absolutely extreme. It's evil as hell.
Exactly. So it's not, so wait, so you're telling me that me being able to kill 20 people in 20 seconds is worse than me being able to kill 2 people in 8 seconds, 2 people in 4 seconds. Seriously. What kind of shit is that? So you're basically telling me that the fucking Lee Harvey Oswald is okay because of Ted Bundy. Lee Harvey Oswald ain't that bad, but that Ted Bundy, now that's a motherfucker there. A life is a life, man. Killing one person or killing 10, you're still a fucking murderer. doesn't matter. I wish a motherfucker would tell me that me losing one of my loved ones ain't as bad because 18 other loved ones died too. No, motherfucker, my loved one is my loved one. And if I had, does one person in my family closest to me matter dying than 100 that I don't know? Abso-fucking-lutely. So you can't diminish the fact that it's one life being lost that's connected to me versus 100 that aren't. A life is a fucking life, man.
Which is why I want a firearm so that if I'm ever in that position, I have
that he used, Colion. You're going to tell me that the weapon didn't play a role in that? In the speed?
In Virginia.
Now, in fairness, he is correct. The weapon did make a factor in that. It provided better accuracy, and it provided high velocity bullets. Yes, it did. That's what the difference was. Those bullets do more damage. Those bullets you have more accuracy with those bullets that do more damage. That's what a rifle does. However, you having a ban on those doesn't mean that would never happen again, because I can get a rifle illegally. What's your point, sir? Please find one for me. Please. Right now, a pound of marijuana would be illegal for me to possess. Yet and still I could possess it and get high. What is your point? Is it that you just want to lock up law-abiding citizens? Or do you actually want to stop the actual act from happening? Because at the end of the day, it's not going to get down to the tool. It's going to come down to the person.
Virginia Tech, he killed 36 people with handguns.
Okay, and let's
how much time? That? He missed that shit. Virginia Tech, 36 motherfuckers with handguns. What? Two 18-round motherfucking, two 18-round capacity handguns. I can kill 36 people, motherfucker. What's the difference between that and a 30-round magazine for a rifle? Is that it's 6 less bullets.
Extreme, it's evil as hell. Which is why
I'm talking
I want
about
a
the
firearm
weapon.
so that if I'm ever in that position,
the weapon
I have
that he used, Colion. You're going to tell me that the weapon didn't play a role in that? In the speed?
In Virginia Tech, he killed 36 people with handguns.
Okay, and let's look at
over how much time?
Yeah, over how much time?
That went on. That was a standoff. That went on for a long time.
Make? He killed
because the time. That's what we're talking.
Exactly. If it took me 2 days or if it took me 2 minutes, what difference does it make? It's 36 people that are dead. You see what I mean about how they're just trying to push a narrative and an agenda as opposed to actually solving a problem and having a conversation to solve a problem? All they're trying to do is push the agenda. Yeah, we just got to keep saying it. We say a lie long enough, it becomes the truth. And that's why you got to speak out against fuck shit when you see it. And that's why, and shout out to my brother Tommy Sotomayor who does that. You got to call out that bullshit when you hear it, because if you don't, if people say it long enough, it will become the truth.
It can happen like that.
The speed of these weapons.
Because you could be anywhere in this country and get mowed down along.
Dude, I could pull a firearm out, a handgun out, and I can shoot off 18 rounds. I can pull out a rifle and shoot out 18 rounds. The only thing that's going to matter is how accurate I am in doing so. 18 people dead is 18 people dead, my man. If I take a knife and I go stab 18 people in the fucking jugular, that's 18 people dead, sir. Has nothing to do with the weapon. It has everything to do with the person. So now we're just talking about how efficient I am with killing a motherfucker? Seriously.
With 50 other people in about 20 seconds. That's why.
No, I understand that, Harvey, which is why we want a Second Amendment so we can defend ourselves. That's why I want an AR-15 so I can defend myself with the most adequate means to do so.
So everybody should have an AR. Everybody should have an AR-15.
Everybody has an AK-47 or an AR-15.
If you have a desire to own an AR-15 for your self-protection under the Second Amendment, which allows us to do that, then yes, I don't see what the problem is. I'm not the problem, Harvey. The vast majority of people in this country.
And he made a great point there. Law-abiding citizens are not the problem. I can't remember who said it, but there's a saying that says, Guns, everybody carrying a gun, it makes everybody polite. Guns make people polite. Guns make everyone polite. That's what it does. Because if everybody know everybody got a gun, motherfuckers ain't quick to pull the trigger. Case in point, let me prove it. See how I'm coming with facts? Nuclear weapons. Russia has just as many nuclear warheads as we do. Have had as many as we've had for years, dozens of years. Why ain't nobody ever fired off a nuke? You know why? Because everybody realizes that, hey, you got the power to kill me, I got the power to kill you. Let's have a common respect and be on a common ground. Now, they've come with ways to actually say, hey, let's minimize it. We don't all need 10,000 motherfucking nukes. Let's just say we'll both equally have around a ballpark of 500. Fine, let's what do they call it? De-arming or some shit like that, their nuclear warhead capacity or something. Fine. Mutually assured destruction, exactly. That's where we need to be as a society if we want to stop mass shootings. If everybody know, oh, this motherfucker got an AR too. Oh, this motherfucker, and let me go with another point to back it up. So I just gave you the nuclear Cold War issue, right? I guarantee you, if Texas, in El Paso, Texas, if it would have been me walking into Walmart with my AR strapped to my back, I guarantee you that motherfucker would not have shot a soul in that store. If that guy would have saw me simply walking in to Walmart, unbeknownst to him, not me being totally unbeknownst to him, not knowing him at all, not seeing him at all, but if he would have saw me walk into that store 30 seconds before he did, with this AR strapped to my back, talking and holding hands with my wife, kicking and all that shit, kissing and all that shit, if he would have saw that, that dude wouldn't have pulled it. You know why? Because he would have thought, maybe, just maybe, this motherfucker over here can shoot just as good or even better than me. I'm gonna wait till he leaves. At the worst case. Now tell me that that's not true. Tell me that that ain't what that... I bet you if that motherfucker would have saw me, some of my boys, we just came from the range and we had our AR strapped to our back. Just talk, ain't pointing them at nobody, ain't motherfucking talking about them, ain't that about him. We just walking, going to the store, and we got our ARs on, and we just like, yeah, man, boy, yeah, so much fun, man. Yeah, we gonna go ahead, go, and just had them on us. Because the first shot we would have heard, we would have went at his ass. And I'm telling you right now, AK-47 going up against 2 AR-15s, motherfucker, you have a problem. That's all I'm saying.
Are not the problem. We're not all killers.
Okay,
but what we do want is when the time arises where somebody does decide that they want to be evil and indiscriminately take people's lives, we want to be in a position to protect ourselves and our families from that.
Yeah. So Colion, so if the people of America decide that they want to change,
you want to take the ability for me to be able to defend myself against a fucking wolf. You want to take that away from me because it makes you feel better. That's essentially what's being said here. Because you cannot guarantee me that a ban will keep it from happening. Because there was a ban back in the 90s and it still happened. And it was even reported that this ban had no bearing whatsoever on the increase or decrease of violence when it came to the so-called assault rifle ban. So we've showed you that it doesn't work and it won't impact active shooters one way or the other. But yet and still, you're still hell-bent on doing it. How, Sway? How? How are you literally trying to prove your point by telling me that some shit you saw that clearly I can show you didn't work, and I can show you how something else would work, and you're saying, well, now we need to just do it the other way because I just feel that that would be better.
this, and they want their congressmen and congresswomen to actually make a law to change this. Why wouldn't that happen? Is it because
it doesn't work.
the
Because
NRA
clearly
because the
people,
NRA lobby is
what we do,
buying
we're
up
in this country,
Congress?
I mean, the way this country is structured, we do have an ability to amend the Constitution. So that is possible. Since it's not happening, that should probably tell you that the majority of people don't agree with you.
Okay, look, we are.
Now that was a cold-hearted fact. The fact that this shit has been being talked about this long, has been going on this long, and there have been lives that have been lost, obviously the majority of the country does not feel that this is the way.
Clearly, look, I mean, we knew that we knew there would be no resolution.
We didn't think we were going to be on the same
but
page.
we wanted to have the discussion,
Yes.
Colion. Thank you.
Touche. No, absolutely. And I really appreciate you guys having me on to have the conversation.
And that's pretty much it. That's all I'm saying. So you can clearly see, hey man, this is pretty much like the same thing you've been talking about. We've already done it. And the fact that we still talking about this obviously shows that the majority of the people who live in this country don't want this. That's all I'm saying. Now, just to bring all this together, wrapping all this up before I get up out of here, because we just a little bit over 2 hours. But just to bring all of this together and to just solidify my point in what I'm saying and why I think that this whole gun control movement is a bunch of bullshit, why I think everybody who's trying to blame Trump for this shit happening is bullshit, and why you can say, oh, he just a Trump supporter and that's why he said, nope, I'm coming with cold-hearted factual evidence to show every last one of y'all that's been posting this on your Facebook, that's been posting this on your Instagram, that's been tweeting this shit out, that you're full of shit. And here's where I'm going to prove my point.
Karen, the latest fatal shooting taking place in Garfield Park late this afternoon. And while police continue to investigate all of this weekend's gun violence, they're also adding more officers to the street tonight in those areas they believe the danger of retaliation to be highest.
Chicago police officers and emergency rooms stretched to the limit. That is what it was like on the city's west side between 1 and 4 a.m. this morning, as first responders rushed to respond to several shootings, including 2 multiple injury events. One, a drive-by in Douglas Park, which left 7 people wounded. Superintendent.
What was the definition of a mass shooting in the beginning of this show? 4 more. We just had 7. And they just said within a 1 to 4 hour time frame, the hospital had to shut its fucking doors because of the massive amount of people that were getting shot in the area. Another mass shooting. I didn't see not one goddamn CNN. I didn't see not one goddamn TMZ. I didn't see not one MSNBC report this shit. I didn't see no social media, social justice warriors report this shit. And yes, Bruce, at a fucking trauma center, they had so many niggas that got shot in a weekend's time. Less than, what is that, 2 days, right? 57 people shot, and I think 9 dead. Or it's 57 and 9 dead. 57 people shot. And you motherfuckers are telling me that this Trump fault? No, this ain't Trump fault. No, this ain't no assault weapons ban's fault. This ain't none of that. This is a people problem. This is a culture problem. This is a law enforcement problem. You got niggas running rampant out here to the point to where you got 52 people shot in a weekend, and then you had 30 people shot in 2 separate states, and that shit got more news coverage than the people in Chicago in one city did.
And Eddie Johnson describing it as a gun battle.
Several of our victims returned fire, possibly up to 4 or 5 different people shooting at one time.
2 hours later at 18th and Keeler, 8 people were shot. 1 fatal.
What? So we had 1 mass shooting, 7 people at 1 o'clock in the morning. Then we had, within 2 hours, 8 people get shot. That's 2 mass shootings. Am I not correct? That's 2 mass shootings. Am I not correct? No national coverage. Ain't that something?
Following a basketball game, police had been forced to break up earlier in the day when it began to circulate that an act of violence was being planned. 3 guns were recovered, but after police left, many of those who were there.
Oh, so wait, it wasn't even one shooter. It was multiple shooters at these particular shootings. Isn't that some shit? Where's the national news coverage for that?
Earlier are believed to have returned. 33-year-old Demetrius Flowers was killed in the shooting.
I just want to say to the mothers and to the fathers, hug your kids tonight. Reach out and teach each one. Now I'm a victim of the senseless violence, and my son is in there laying on a cold slab of steel.
Police say all of last night's shootings were gang or drug related, and they're
What? So now, not only is this 2 or multiple mass shootings, but we also have more people shot and injured because we only talking about 7 plus 8. That's only 15 now. Now, out of that 15, 2 of those were separate mass shootings. Now, the other motherfucking 35 plus motherfuckers that done got shot, we ain't even counting now. Not to mention the 9 that are dead. We ain't talking about none of that. But what did they say? It's gang and drug related. Wow. Where's the racism in that? Where's Trump at in that? This ain't Trump fault too? Y'all can't tell me that?
now preparing for what could be another busy night. 50 additional officers are being brought into the 10th district alone.
Did they come up with another gun ban in Chicago? Or what did they do? They got more good guys to help stop bad guys.
And that's not all.
We're going to deploy our gang teams, our tag teams, and our saturation teams in the locations that we expect to have the retaliations.
CPD tomorrow launching what they're calling the Gun Offenders Dashboard in their continued effort to highlight the lack of real punishment faced by those arrested on felony gun charges.
Oh!
Hey, if you like that video, be sure to subscribe.
So then are you telling me that the local government, they are literally letting out people who have criminal gun charges or gun cases, and they're letting them back out into the streets? Why? And these people are repeat offenders. Why would you have somebody who obviously gets locked up for gun violence or gets locked up for having an illegal firearm, one that is not registered? You let that motherfucker back out, but you trying to ban my legally owned guns. How does that make sense, people? Do you understand what I mean now when I tell you that it's a bunch of it's a bunch of bullshit, man? And there are people dying because of it. There are people getting shot because of it. That father who lost a son, he's suffering because of this bullshit ass narrative. This shit ain't about Trump. Them politicians up on Capitol Hill don't give a good goddamn about none of us. And we steady retweeting, we steady reposting, we steady IGing they fucking talking points. We steady are fucking repeating their fucking hot words. We're steady fucking repeating their fucking catchphrases, and we're the ones that's suffering every day. The fact that it was almost double the amount of people shot in one city in a weekend than it was in two people who committed 2 crimes in 2 separate states. Chicago almost doubled that, and nobody said a fucking word about it. That's a problem. That's what we should be mad about. That's what we should be protesting about. That's what we should be taking to the streets about. That's what we should be looking at and saying, what the fuck are y'all doing in Chicago to where this is happening? And it actually was more numbers than it was in 2 separate states in 13 hours. That's our problem, man. And I don't understand why people who see this shit and the people who I personally fucking know that live in Chicago, that are from Chicago, that know this shit, but the first word out their mouth is Trump. You're a dumbass and a fucking hypocrite. Those same people who sit there and tell me, yeah, man, Trump is, he a fucking racist, man. Trump is fucking us up, man. We got to get him out of office. But fuck your mayor, fuck your police chief, fuck your congressman, fuck your state rep. Oh, let's not talk about your alderman or none of those motherfuckers. We need to be worried about Trump. Are you fucking kidding me? And you know what these niggas are doing in Chicago on the south side and on the west side. This ain't all over the city of Chicago. It's literally happening in 3 areas. The west side, the far south side, and the east side. That's where it's happening. And I know it's technically no east side, but motherfuckers, we that's from Chicago, we call it over east. 3 areas. That's where it's happening. So it ain't like it's just so scattered in the metropolis that we can't find it and get our hands on it. You see how they just deployed 50 police officers to these hot areas. So y'all know where the shit is happening and y'all ain't doing shit about it until we hit the 50s. Because the weekend before, it was probably only 12. The weekend after, it was probably only going to be 20. But when it's 50, oh no, we got to do something about this now. This is too much. This is too high now. We can't have this going on. Wake the fuck up, y'all. Is Trump the savior of black people? No. Is Trump a politician? Is Trump an asshole? Absolutely. He's a rich boy billionaire who does and says what the fuck he wants, even though it sounds stupid, even though it's not presidential, even though it's a poor representation of our country. Yes, he's an asshole. But he's not our clear and present danger. He is not our problem right now in our face. The fact we got 52 motherfuckers shot, 57 shot, 9 dead, that's a problem in the city, man. Trump ain't got shit to do with that. And you know why I'm saying that? Because when your boy Obama was in the fucking office, it was worse. And you motherfuckers still wasn't saying nothing. Y'all was trying to blame Rahm Emanuel. So why is it now, when it's happening in Chicago, it's the president's fault? When it's happening in Ohio, it's the president's fault. When it's happening in El Paso, it's the president's fault. But when that shit was happening in Chicago, oh, that's Rahm Emanuel. That's not Obama. No. Obama ain't got nothing to do with that. Obama can't control that. No, Obama can't do nothing with that now. Don't you try to put that on Obama now. You ain't gonna put that on Obama. That ain't Obama's fault. That's Rahm Emanuel's fault. That's whose fault that is. That's the mayor. He the one. He's the problem. It's Rahm Emanuel. We always want to point to the white man. If I was white, I'd be tired of niggas. Y'all motherfuckers blame us for every goddamn thing. Yeah, we do some fuck shit. Yeah, we do some ignorant shit from time to time. We have our own atrocities. Ain't nobody saying that they don't. But goddamn, man, if you can't see what that problem is right now in your face and you living in that city, and if you in Chicago on the south side, on the west side, or over east, and you talking about Trump, you are a dumbass. Seriously. Because there are people right now who planning funerals. There are people right now who visiting hospitals. There are people right now who picking up loved ones who got shot over the fucking weekend. And ain't nobody saying shit about that. But we holding candlelight vigils for Dayton, Ohio. We holding candlelight vigils for El Paso, Texas. And I ain't saying that we shouldn't. But we still putting that on the fucking president. Really? Why TMZ ain't dialing in to somebody, to some activist in Chicago talking about gun violence? And not knocking on Colin or no shit like that. But why ain't nobody making no phone call to Chicago about mass shootings that were worse than El Paso and Dayton, Ohio put together? Why ain't nobody calling about that? Where's the CNN special reports? Where's the talking to Lori Lightfoot on TMZ? Where is talking to the chief of police on CNN, on MSNBC? Where is that? Where are the Foxes interviewing the people in the city of Chicago and talking about the gun violence? Why is it only local news? But you have 2 mass shootings, 2 separate areas within a 13 or 15-hour period. National news, epidemic, and it's Obama's fault. I mean, and it's Trump's fault. National news, and it's the president to blame. He's still not doing anything. You get all these goddamn politicians that are all taking this whole narrative saying we got to do better. We got to come up with a law. We got to do something. What happened in Ohio is a tragedy. What happened in El Paso should never have happened. But ain't nobody mentioned Chicago. Ain't that something? And I'm telling you like this. If anybody should be enraged or outraged, it should be the people of Chicago. Because they said, fuck y'all. They said they ain't thinking about y'all. Y'all used to it. Oh, y'all don't care. Y'all'll be okay. Y'all not El Paso. Y'all not Dayton, Ohio. They used to it. The fact that it's gotten there is our problem. The fact that it's gotten like to be this at this point is why I have a problem. The reason why I talked about all this shit for over 2 hours is to wrap it up and bring it all the way back to that point right there that you see. The same motherfuckers that's talking about all this gun violence, is talking about all these tragedies, you see it happening every goddamn weekend in the city of Chicago. And y'all don't give a goddamn about it. And that is why we have a clear and present danger, and it ain't the motherfucker at 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue. And if anybody else is saying it, you're an idiot. If anybody else is saying it, you're just saying hot words. You're just talking out the side of your neck. You wolfing, talking bullshit, selling wolf tickets. You pushing the narrative of a Democratic and liberal party that don't give a shit about you. And you're trying to help them get in office, and all they trying to do is have a power grab for themselves and their own agenda. And they're using the lives of people that look just like you to do it. They're using the lives of the people of a city who die every weekend and don't nobody give a shit about to do it. Every politician that is anti-gun, every politician that is pro-gun control, every politician that got a problem with anything going on with the Second Amendment, they should have been outraged and they should have mentioned Chicago. And if they didn't, they ain't shit. That's just like me talking about 15 kids died on a school bus, 30 kids burned up in a building, and I'm sitting here talking about we got to have safer buses for the streets. Hey man, lives are lives. Ain't no one greater than the other. That's all I got to say about that, as Forrest Gump would say. I hope that this video helps somebody become a better version of themselves. I hope that I've explained my whole position on this gun thing. And I hope I've explained my position on why I don't fuck around with these dumbass Democrats and these bullshit ass liberals that's trying to motherfucking spoon feed us and keep us as fucking retards while they fucking giving us free shit. We thinking that they are friends. Just because somebody giving you something for free don't mean that they for your ass. Because a dope dealer give you a free hit if they can get you hooked on their shit. Think about that. Even a drug dealer will give you his product, which he makes money off of, which he lives off of, which he thrives off of. Even a drug dealer will give you free drugs just to get you hooked. And that's the same thing that the Democratic Party has been doing to us since the fucking 60s. They've gotten us hooked on this free shit, and we think this free shit is the best shit for us. And it's not. I was on it. I learned from it, and I'm hoping that y'all do too. Am I saying that this whole Republican kick and this conservative kick is the best thing for us too? No, I'm not. What I'm saying is we need to start thinking, and we need to start holding both sides responsible and accountable for the shit that they're doing and the shit that they're not doing. That's all I'm saying. And it don't start with calling everybody we don't like a fucking racist. It starts with us holding each other accountable. It starts with us making each other responsible for the shit we do and the shit that we don't do. And the fact that we don't do research is a problem. The fact that we don't figure out things and think for ourselves is a problem. The fact that we won't police ourselves is a problem. The fact that we won't tell the police or talk to the police on ourselves and the shit that we see our own people doing to us is a problem. The fact that we'll see our relatives doing the shit that's destroying our communities and destroying our children and we don't say shit is a problem. Let me go ahead and say thank you to everybody who donated. Thank you to everybody who clicked the like, who came by and stopped by and saw the show tonight. I appreciate you all. Shout out to my man Eugene, Eugene Foy, he said, keep up the great insight. We need these voices. Oh, that was Sunday. That was yesterday. Yeah, I ain't getting nobody on the but shout out to you anyway, brother. Thank you for your $9.78. That's what's up. Let me see here. Let me go to this PayPal. All right, here we go. Come on. Here we go. All right. My man, let me see, make sure I can say this name right. My man, Big Timer 24 Gaming. Great show, bro. Hit your boy off with $20. That's what's up. Thank you, sir. My man, David Williams. Exposure to get better isn't what we want to do. We want to stay selfish and for everyone else to be wrong. The rubber and glue narrative as usual. Exactly. My man hit your boy off with $2. Thank you, David. My man Skohar hit your man up with $2.50. Peace, Brian. Just started a new job a few weeks ago, but here's a little something. That's what's up. I appreciate you, brother. Hey, man, I just want to say thank you for everybody that stopped by, everybody that clicked the like, everybody that supported. And if you're watching this on the replay, click the like, click the share. Make sure you join the United Guns of America channel. Let me see. What did he say, Brian? I can't think of a compliment worthy of the accolades you deserve for this outstanding show tonight. Thank you very much for your wisdom and leadership on this issue. Hey, man, thank you, man. I'm glad you guys tuned in for sure. Point still stands, man. Thank you, man. I hope I made the point. I really was just like trying not to really get into this all the time, but I just got so tired of what people were saying and it wasn't making any sense. And I said, well, shit, that's when I need to step in. I need to bring some sense to this shit, man. And that's exactly what I intended to do. And I hope that it does make some sense. I hope it makes somebody think differently, because that's all I want. Think differently, and let's just start talking about this shit. That's it. And to anybody that's out there who don't know how to articulate themselves, who don't know how to say the points that they see that I'm saying or other people are saying, share this video and send it to their ass. Say, watch this, and then tell me what the fuck. Tell this dude to shut the fuck up. Tell this dude he need to go and try this, or what about that, or what about this. But I tell you one thing, they won't dispute the facts. They won't dispute those points that you make. And if they do, they're fucking lying. Thank you guys so much. I appreciate every last one of you all that came through. I love you all. Hey man, this was awesome. This thing that I get to do, it means nothing if y'all ain't here. And I'm so glad that you guys did come and you guys shared this night with me. Shout out to my man DJ Just JOK. Shout out to Lady La. Shout out to Princess X. Shout out to my brother, Tommy Sotomayor. Thank you, sir, for giving me the inspiration to do what it is that I do. It is because of you that I continue to do this thing. Shout out to you, bro. I love you. Everybody else in Soto Nation, thank you for always supporting. Thank you, Soto Nation, for always showing up. Thank you for always showing out. Thank you for every donation. Thank you for everybody that's watching that's new. Thank you for everybody that clicked the like. And until next time, hey, we're going to do this shit again, and it's going to be real soon. Y'all have a great night. I love y'all. Shout out to my people in Chicago, man. I hope that y'all can make some changes out there, and we can just do better. When you know better, you do better. It's better to have it and not need it than to need it and not have it. Peace. Y'all have a good night.